day, everyone. You're welcome to this week's Business and Investment Tips program, a production of Christ Church Radio with Ayodeji Ebo, an investment professional. This week, the focus is on the review of the half-year 2022 financial performance of select companies. To make knowledgeable investment decisions about whether to hold, sell, or buy more shares of a company, investors need to keep an eye on the financial performance of the companies they invest in. Investors make investment decisions based on financial performance because it influences the performance of the stock market over the long term. A company's financial performance shows how well a firm can utilize assets from its core business to generate revenue and profits. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) requires all listed companies to file their unaudited quarterly earnings within a maximum of 30 days and a half-year audited within 60 days. The first half results capture a company's performance for the first 6 months of the year, showing its progress and how close it is to meeting its anticipated annual profit target. To determine a company's direction, you typically compare its performance to the previous periods. Year on year means comparing the period this year to the corresponding period in another year, say comparing H1 2022 to H1 2021 figures. In this analysis, we are going to focus on key sectors. 1. The telecommunications sector. The telecommunications sector sustained its positive form for the first 6 months of 2022, boosted by its data business. We observed an improvement in the subscriber base year on year despite the challenges of linking SIM cards to national identity numbers (NIN). Consequently, the average revenue per user, which is the metric that measures the revenue generated per subscriber, grew positively year on year, implying that Nigerians on an average spent more on communications, especially data. As a result, MTNN's H1 2022 unaudited revenue and profit after tax (PAT) grew by 20% and 28% year on year to 950 billion naira and 182 billion naira respectively. This was boosted by a 52% year on year increase in data revenue, accounting for 37% of total revenue. MTNN declared an interim dividend of 5 naira 60 kobo per share. Similarly, Airtel Africa released results for the first 3 months of its 2022 financial year. Revenue and PAT increased by 13% and 25% year on year to $1.3 billion and $178 million respectively. We expect that data revenue will continue to drive the strong performance in the sector as both companies accelerate the implementation of their payment service banks and mobile money businesses. 2. Brewery sector. The brewery sector, a subgroup of the consumer goods sector, upheld its strong performance in H1 2022 on the back of stronger product demand. This led to a significant rally in the share price of all companies listed in the brewery sector in the last few weeks. Guinness's audited full year 2022 revenue and PAT spiked by 29% and 1,148% year on year to 207 billion naira and 16.6 billion naira respectively. Similarly, Nigerian Breweries' unaudited H1 2022 revenue and PAT increased by 31% and 143% year on year to 274 billion naira and 19 billion naira respectively. Guinness proposes a final dividend of 7 naira 14 kobo per share. 3. The banking sector. So far, only 5 commercial banks have published their half-year unaudited results with positive growth in gross earnings and PAT. Most of the top banks publish audited results due to the payment of interim dividends. FBN Holdings, Union Bank, Wema Bank, and Sterling Bank recorded 23%, 12%, 46%, and 16% year-on-year growth in earnings to 359 billion naira, 87 billion naira, 60 billion naira, and 78 billion naira respectively. PAT grew year-on-year by 49%, 5%, 42%, and 43% to 57 billion naira, 12 billion naira, 5 billion naira, and 8 billion naira in that order. EcoBank Transnational Incorporated (ETI) net revenue grew by 10% year-on-year to $910 million and PAT was up 23% to $130 million. 4. The agricultural sector. The sector has continued to benefit from the FX challenges that have made companies to source inputs domestically. Okomu and Presco Oil are the two agricultural companies listed in the Nigerian exchange. Presco and Okomu grew H1 2022 gross revenue by 59% and 42% year-on-year to 34.2 billion naira and 40.7 billion naira, and PAT rose by 31% and 77% to 16.9 billion naira and 16.8 billion naira respectively. Okomu Oil and Presco declared an interim dividend of 7 naira and 6 naira 60 kobo per share. 5. The cement sector. The sector maintained its impressive form due to improved product demand. Dangote, Lafarge, and Boa Cement companies grew revenue by 17%, 29%, 52% year-on-year to 808 billion naira, 187 billion naira, and 189 billion naira respectively. Lafarge and Boa recorded positive year-on-year growth in PAT of 32% and 42% to 37 billion naira and 61 billion naira, while Dangote posted a 10% decline in PAT to 172 billion naira, traceable to an increase in finance costs. 6. Consumer goods sector. The fast-moving consumer goods sector recorded largely positive financial performance due to the inelastic nature of their products, when consumers' demand for a product does not significantly change despite an increase in price. Nestle recorded a positive performance in both revenue and PAT, with a growth rate of 30% and 26% year-on-year to 222 billion naira and 28 billion naira. Dangote Sugar and Flour Mills posted substantial year-on-year growth in revenue, with a 41% and 45% increase to 185 billion naira and 340 billion naira, while PAT grew by 60% and 1% year-on-year to 20 billion naira and 5 billion naira respectively. We anticipate a mild slowdown in demand due to a high inflation rate that negatively impacts the purchasing power of consumer wallets. We await H1 2022 earnings and corporate actions, which is a dividend declaration of the major banks. Remember that investments in stock may not guarantee you capital preservation, but it can offer a higher return than fixed income. You can allocate a portion of your portfolio to stocks based on your risk appetite and age. Thank you for listening. Please join us same time next week for another exciting and insightful session. For questions, comments, and feedback, kindly forward to ebo.ayodeji@gmail.com or send an SMS to 07082463447. Stay blessed.